Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our weekly spoiler reviews of the brand new episode of The Mandolorian. This week is Chapter 15, the penultimate or the second to last episode of Season 2. We are already there, almost at the end of Season 2 of The Mandalorian. Before we get into my spoiler thoughts on this episode and my predictions for the finale next week, let me know in the comment section your thoughts of this episode. It's one of your favorite episodes of the entire show, least favorite. Tell me, did you like some of the new characters who are brought into the episode this week? Also, please hit that like button as well. That's the best way to support this channel. Also, if you are commenting down below, also let me know your predictions for the finale. What do you think will happen in the Season 2 final episode next week? Please subscribe, share, comment as well, and let's get started. So again, spoiler review, if you have not checked out The Mandalorian Chapter 15, the episode that dropped this morning on Disney+, please watch the episode, then come back here and check out this review. Also, if you're new to the channel, welcome. I've already done spoiler reviews for each of the episodes leading into this one, so you can also go down a rabbit hole on that playlist TV show reviews that I have on my channel. It'll be next to my head at the end of the review, and you can go down a rabbit hole watching those reviews. So let's get into this review. So I was kind of hoping, really interesting in this episode. Now, I knew this would be a Bill Burr episode because we set up last week that Din has to break Mayfeld, who's played by Burr, out of prison to get these codes to know where Moff Gideon is, and which I knew would set up Din going after him in the finale. So we have Cara Dune, who of course is the New Republic. She basically breaks Mayfeld out of prison to help them go to this planet so they can get the codes to know where Moff Gideon is. And they're with Fennec, they're with Boba Fett, you have Din, you have Mayfeld, and you have Cara Dune. So you have a great crew here in the show, all going to this new planet, which is Imperial. And they have to take on, and I thought it was really good dynamic of Mando really understanding his identity this episode as well, is the fact that he basically isn't in the Mando armor for much of the episode. Very few snippets. He's basically in the Stormtrooper armor for most of this episode, which I thought was a brilliant idea to really take Mando out of his comfort zone, because obviously he's very reliant on that armor. It really protects him. And you can even see when he was fighting off those pirates this episode, he was taking some blows, and it was definitely affecting him a lot more, obviously, because Beskar would deflect it off, but obviously the Stormtrooper armor can't do that. So I thought that was brilliant stuff, adding into his element. And the plan was for him and Mayfeld to go in, because they said you have to do a facial scan and it can't be anyone from the New Republic or recognizable, and Din's the only one. And Boba Fett said no. Fennec said she's getting chased by someone. Obviously, Cara Dune is New Republic, so it had to be Mando. So Mando and Din Djarin and Mayfeld go in, and they take on the Stormtrooper armor. They're getting chased by pirates who are blowing up 4 of the 5 ships, and they're the last ship that hasn't been blown up yet by the material. I think like something, I forgot what it's called, but you get a really great action set piece with Mando on top of the truck, fighting, obviously now with his Beskar armor. It was really brutal. A lot of the kills, they ran over a pirate. They threw a pirate on the wheels. It was a pretty brutal scene as well. So they push through, and they're saluting everyone. At the end of the day, the Empire is the one who saves them. TIE fighters come in. They blow up the rest of the pirates who are trying to kill Mayfeld and Din. And it was actually the Empire, save our heroes, which is something that we have not seen any bit of Star Wars do yet. It's always those TIE fighters coming in and you're cheering. But this time it was the TIE fighters. I thought it was a very interesting way to show that even Mayfeld's like, who would have thought we would be getting berated by, really happy to see the Empire here. And it was a really brilliant set piece of how similar really the Empire and the Rebellion are. They just have 2 different ideologies. I thought that was very well done this episode. And once they go in, they have to go and get these codes. But Mayfeld sees his former Imperial officer there, so he doesn't go in. And they were kind of setting this up the entire episode of, would we see Pedro Pascal this episode? And we do. Pedro Pascal takes his mask off this episode, which is the first time of this season. he gets the codes. He has a great sit-down talk with the person who played Joe Chill in Batman Begins, which I thought was a good cameo appearance as well. And Bill Burr hates this guy. He kind of left him stranded. So Bill Burr, Mayfield kills the Imperial officer, and then Pedro and Burr have to get themselves out of this place. Fennec and Cara Dune help out. Boba Fett takes them with them, and I love the little set piece of Boba Fett using that big atomic bomb, which was the one of my favorite sound effects from Attack of the Clones. Was one of my favorite aspects of the Clones was Jango Fett in the movie, and when he used that device on Obi-Wan, I thought it was a really cool sound effect, and Boba Fett actually brings that out this episode. I thought that was absolutely brilliant, a great callback to his dad. And if you love the prequel, enjoy the prequels, you at least know that sound effect and that bomb. And I thought that was a really cool way for these guys to escape. And then they let Bill Burr go. They say that they'll let them know that Bill Burr died in the explosion, and that's that. So Mayfield's gone. We probably won't see him again. Maybe never in this entire show. Not really sure. But Bill Burr did an absolute phenomenal job in his 2 episodes he was in. He was in an episode last season. And this episode, I thought he does a really phenomenal job, not just being the comedic relief of his respective episodes, but also being serious. And he fits into the Star Wars universe. Burr's a terrific actor. And I think they nailed that really well with this episode. So then Burr's gone, and we finally get the first glimpse of Moff Gideon this episode, who, again, continues to pop in, maybe a scene an episode. And we actually don't see Grogu, the child, at all this episode, which is the first episode of the entire series where we don't get to see Grogu, which is very interesting. I'm sure people are not going to like that, but that's what it is. And Mando sends a message to Moff saying that they're coming for the child. He means more to him than you'll ever know. And you really see Mando, each episode kind of builds on Mando's fatherly connection to the child. I think it's very well done. It feels very authentic as well. And that's when the episode ends. Rick Famuyiwa directs his first episode of this season. He directed 2 brilliant episodes last season. Gets 1 this season. So overall, guys, a good episode. I wouldn't say great episode. I really, really enjoyed myself with the episode. But out of the last couple of weeks, it was probably lower tier for me. But still, it's not a bad episode of The Mandalorian. It's a really good episode, actually. A pretty underrated episode I think people are not going to talk about. But these side missions is what The Mandalorian's about. If you're still watching this and you don't like that he has to keep going on side missions, that is the template of the show. And you're either going to be in on that or you're going to be out on that. And I'm completely in. I do love this show, and I'm really sad that we're heading into the last episode of The Mandalorian. But we know we're going to get season 3 and season 4. And based on that Disney investor thing yesterday, tons and tons of more Star Wars content will be coming very, very soon. So we got a lot of great stuff coming, by the way. So thank you guys so much for joining me on this Mandalorian spoiler review. Before I go, please hit that like button, comment down below, share, subscribe, and ring that bell. Got 2 more reviews this week. The Prom and Safety will be coming. 1 will be today, 1 will be tomorrow. So stay tuned for those reviews. Once again, guys, I will be back next week wrapping up the season finale of The Mandalorian. If you're all new to the channel, as I said, click on that TV show review thing right next to my head. You can go down and wrap up all the previous episodes that I have talked about this season. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll see you guys in the next one.